Mm. Hello, my brothers and sisters. I hope you are awake and present enough to feel what is happening, what is shifting right now. Can you feel the change that is taking place on the planet, in your own life, and just in the world around you? Things are different. This is not a New Year's like any other New Year's we have experienced before. This is the dawning of an entirely new human experience that we are at the dawn of. We are at the very cusp of, the beginning of. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I am talking about this evolutionary journey that the planet and humanity has been on for thousands of years. And today, yesterday, today, this New Year's, during from 2022 to 2023, is a moment that has been heralded for eons. It is not a surprise. It's no mystery in many regards as to what's taking place and why it actually feels so different. Can you feel this sense of finality, of closure, of things really not going to be the same as we go into the days and weeks ahead? If you haven't yet, you will. And the reason for this is because we have been all year in 2022 dissolving the threads that we have been using to kind of stitch together this fabric of the old world that we've known and this new world people call, New Earth, or 3D. I would say is organic 3D or 5D that we're stepping into. And there's been a thread, a woven kind of tapestry that has been connecting these two versions of reality for several years now, where we've been able to dance in these higher frequency realms, these higher dimensional experiences while on the planet, and then dive back into the lower ones that we have been stepping out of. You, depending on your framework or the perspective that you take, we would say the one that I subscribe to is that we have been stepping out of the inversion, this inverted expression of the human experience, which would be an inorganic expression of the earth game or the earth reality. And in doing so, part of this transition of stepping out of that and into something that's more authentic, that's more natural, that would be what we would say organic, is having a bridge period. And that's what 2022 was all about. 2020, 2021, but especially 2022. This was the last year that we had the ability to kind of have one foot on the old world side and one foot on the new earth, new world side. And it was important for us to have the ability to go back and forth and play in both, because we have things that at a soul level and human level, we wanted to kind of tie up. We wanted to finish things off and just be done with many things, whether it's relationships, ways of being, things that we're spending our time on, whether it's old habits, old hobbies, old ways of generating sustenance or income for ourselves, jobs, careers, all of that, those things needed to start winding down. And that's what's really been taking place over the last 2 years, especially, is this slow deterioration, slow shifting out of the old world as we've known it, so we can transition slowly and then much more rapidly into the new earth, the new world that deep down every one of us has been longing for, has been calling in, and is looking forward to, even if we can't articulate it or don't know really what's happening fully at a conscious level. So that's what this particular New Year's is about. It is the turning point of closing, finally closing the door to the inversion, to the inorganic template of Earth, and playing the game in the inverted way, which is simply, summarized or put very basically, what's true is shown and believed to be false. What is false or inverted or inorganic or not really truth is shown to be true, organic, real, and the true direction we're following. So everything is switched, everything is backwards. So the energies of this new year, 2023, which is so much about freedom, of accelerated creation, of liberated ways of being and feeling, articulating, expressing, These energies started actually presenting themselves back in October. Middle end of October is when we started to really feel this wave of like, okay, I'm actually feeling much more empowered. I'm not feeling so restricted or so limited or afraid to take these steps into the unknown. And so that was the beginning, sort of foreshadowing what's coming in this new year of 2023. And then as we got closer, moving into December, with so many different periods of activation and energies that have been coming in to upgrade our physical body, our biology, and at the same time allowing us to upgrade our frequency and then also up level our consciousness, our conscious awareness of who we are and what we are doing and playing with in this earthly realm at this time. So, crossing over from last night into today, for myself, it was an extremely palpable experience. We stayed up too late. We were with some beloved friends and like minded soul family. And waking up this morning, I was awoken extra early. I wouldn't normally have gone on 5 hours sleep, but I woke bright eyed and really full of energy and full of this excitement. And the first thing I wanted to do was come down into the home and refresh everything energetically, um, at a cellular level. So, what that looked like for me, and I'll share it in case there's something in here that inspires you. But I went through several layers of smudging, which is burning various things. In my case, it was burning some sage, some dried sage, burning some dried cedar, and going through every room and basically following the patterns of where we do most of our living, where we do most of our entertaining, where we do most of our everyday activities, the things that have defined what life has been for us. Where do we do those things inside the home? And so I went through each of those areas. And what smudging, if you're not familiar with it, does is it helps to quickly transform the energy. It shifts the energy, shakes the energy up, and is a way of like purifying the energy, starting fresh. If you're not able to open a window and let new, fresh energy in, sage smudging and smudging with other things, other herbs and plant material, and even other ingredients completely, like saps and so forth, can be really powerful for that. But for myself, I just worked with those two and then a little bit of Palo Santo later. But it was a series of walking through every single room and being really mindful as to what have we been doing in these spaces? How have we been showing up? Myself personally, my partner, the friends who gather with us, the family who gathers with us, and remembering how we have been, remembering what has taken place in those spaces, and then at a very conscious and intentional way, being willing to wipe the slate clean of all of it. Not placing any judgments as to whether the way we have been in the past or the things that we have done is any worse or any better than what we intend to experience moving forward. This is a ritual of about being able to just let go of anything that was old, anything that came before this moment. And there's something really sacred and really important and powerful about that, is because if you're wanting to open up to the new, it doesn't matter whether what's come before it is good or bad. There is just something really important about putting it all to rest and then opening all channels up for something new, for something potentially unexpected, things that we couldn't even imagine to present, to start presenting, including and especially how we're going to be. What version of ourselves are we going to show up and be and get to experience the world through as we take these steps forward into 2023? So that is what I started with. I personally did that. I spent the first part of the morning going through, tidying up the space, decluttering things, letting go of even the memory of the day before, and then starting fresh, opening the doors and windows a little bit, burning different materials like the sage and the cedar, and going around in patterns to see where we sit, where we play, where we cook, all of it, and going into the entrance, the back door and the front door. And then I carried it out into the yard, Our home, I crystal gridded the home and the land when we first arrived here a few years ago. But I went back into all of those places, all the borders of the property boundary, and went through and did the same thing. Except this time outside, it was more of an invitation and appreciation for all of the flora, fauna, the plants, and the trees that are still very visible at this time of year, and going around and acknowledging all of them for the role that they have played as they've been growing and we've been growing together, and the support that they've given, the shelter that they've given, the fruits and the nourishment that they've given for us, as well as all of the animals and the creatures who are, some of them are resting right now and sleeping. So I did the whole property border. I went around to those significant trees that really have meant a lot to me and have made a difference in how I experience the land here. And it was a beautiful, beautiful experience to go and feel their presence and make my presence and my appreciation known to them, and spreading my own energy around the space. And then the last pieces was a little bit of burning. I started a little fire outside in the backyard. And that's what I used to light some of the materials that I walked around with and did a little bit more burning and smudging with. And then come inside and I started to work with sound. So I took out one crystal bowl that I rarely use, but was very clearly being called to be the one that I worked with today. And I brought that and moved in the same patterning through every space in the house. Anything that holds any sacred objects, that holds any even equipment for work, whether it's laptops, desks that hold papers or materials or equipment that's used for recording podcasts, audios, session work, everything, allowing everything to be impacted. First, of course, by the smudging, by the chemical that's now becoming smoke and the alchemical reaction that takes place through burning. And then it became sound, and letting the sound frequency penetrate everything in the space, and going into each of the areas throughout the house where I had placed the crystals to create the crystal grid within the home, and then outside in the property perimeter, gridding of the outside, and then activating with sound frequency using the crystals, using a tuning fork, activating all of those sites within and around the home as well, to start fresh and connecting back into the crystal within Gaia, the crystal core, and bringing that energy up. So it was a really, really beautiful practice that just naturally, organically came up, and I was really inspired to share just what I've been doing today. And if it inspires you to do something similar, please do, because this is a day after New Year's, unlike any other. We are not going to have another day like this. This day has been heralded and is really being celebrated by the other aspects of us, the larger cosmic galactic aspects of ourselves, because of what it represents. It is truly a saying goodbye to an old way of being. Does that mean that as of today, as of tomorrow, we're all going to be living in organic 3D and there'll be no more, polarity, no more polarized dynamics between people, experiences, struggling, suffering? No. But it does mean that now the choice is going to be so clear that if we are choosing to continue old patterns of how we relate to each other in personal, intimate relationship, in family dynamics, in business, in client service care provider relationships, with strangers, with nature, any relationships we have, if we are choosing to show up in the old way that is representative of struggle, power, control, submission out of fear, out of lack of love, or fear of losing love or the love of ones around us, fear of judgment, all of that is all old. We are saying goodbye to that, because what we are stepping into and have the ability to now fully experience in any moment is freedom and liberation from those old limiting mental and emotional patterns and ways of showing up and experiencing ourselves in this world. If this resonates with you, know that there is nothing holding you back from having that experience now. Very little is going to be required for us to do in service of others, meaning holding on to patterns and programs longer so that others can benefit and continue to have something play out. We are now able to say, okay, I'm done with that. You want to continue playing? Great. Play with someone else will show up. But we no longer, as individuals, have to feel obligated. And even at a soul level, at the superconscious level, we will be doing less and less until there will be no more of that. There will be plenty of playmates who will be available to those who are really interested in playing within that dynamic, who will be able to continue to play that out, but in a very different dimensional experience. So if you are watching this and you're resonating with this, it's very likely that you are someone who is on the path to experiencing and really coming into embodiment and materializing of the organic third dimensional reality. There is some misconception that people think we're going straight into 5D. We are not doing that, but it's at this point it's irrelevant to which perspective you're taking. Just know that we are going into, and now here and available to us, is a very different way of being and experiencing ourselves and others and the world around us, including every element of nature. If you didn't get a chance to go into nature today, I would highly encourage you to do that tomorrow. Notice what you feel as you do. Today, we took a little visit to some land that I steward, and we did a beautiful water ceremony. We did a beautiful ceremony with nature, and it was noticeably different. There was a stillness, there was a calmness, a quietness, and just so much was coming from the water that seemed more alive than it had been before. There is definitely a palpable difference that if you are willing to get quiet and be still with, you will be able to nourish yourself, feed yourself energetically, giving yourself more sustenance to take you through your days when things feel like they are speeding up or feeling like they are stressing you out, or starting to wonder, how am I going to accomplish all of these things that I want to accomplish in 2023? It's going to be a very different year of approaching what we would typically call goals or things we want to accomplish. It's going to be very different because we are detaching at the same time as we're moving into this new era. We are also starting to detach very rapidly from time and traditional perspectives on how we manifest, how we create things in our reality, and how we even approach the creation process from start to finish. I'll talk more about that later, but for now, I just wanted to share some of what I've been doing, and the hopes that if it inspires you or gives you an idea of something that you can do to celebrate this day, please do. And it's not like, okay, you missed today, it's done. But just know that this was a distinct turning point going from old to new. There has been a lead up, like a bleed point leading up to this. And this turning point or closing of the door, our ability to kind of have one leg on either side, is going to bleed forward into February and probably even into the end of March when the equinox happens. But it'll be noticeably shifting very, very soon if it hasn't already for you. So just be open and know that things can be easier and things will be easier. It is a time to also start to dream big, like allow yourself to think big, dream big, but not from a place where you may have before. It's not about dreaming bigger from the mind exclusively. We're trying to detach from that. The mind tends to take us down the egoic expressive track and generally starts to set our mind and set our sights on things that are often, usually, not actually aligned with our soul's intention for what it wants to play with, engage with, and create, especially at this time. So, all of the changes that we have been going through at a conscious level, from our conscious awareness, conscious expansion, and biologically through our physical bodies and our frequency, all of the shifts that have been happening, the up leveling and upgrading that's taking place, is to allow our physical vessel to embody, physically embody, right? Almost in the body, the soul, which is an energetic, higher vibrational aspect of ourselves. It's the true expression of ourselves. So, in order to do that, in order for it to come into the physical body and allow it to express fully through us, we have to make changes to the physical body, and that's what's been happening. How does it feel when we are embodied by the soul? That's when you feel at ease with yourself. That's when you feel content. That's when we're not pushing, we're not rushing, we're not forcing, we're not trying to make things happen. We're present in the present moment. Remember, it is only the ego mind, the ego structure, that is capable of spending time looking and reflecting in the past and really spending much time focused on future. It is not capable of being in the present moment. So when you come into a place of stillness and you allow the rest of the world to disappear, and you just are appreciating the smell of fresh baking bread, or you're appreciating the beauty of some plant that is growing in your home, or the feeling when you are stroking a pet, the softness of their fur, and feeling the warmth of them as you're holding them on your lap, or the gaze of a child, whatever it is, when you're in those moments, that's when we are connected to more or all of the truth of us. The soul is able to bleed through and express through us in those moments because the mind, the ego, is not pulling us out of that perspective. So if you haven't already taken a moment to come into that place of stillness today, I'd like to take us there for just a few minutes. So to close this off, get comfortable, take a few moments to close your eyes, and we're going to take a few breaths together. Breathe deeply in and out. And on every inhale, open the heart, expand the heart. Bring yourself more and more into this present moment. And on every exhale, just expand and release anything that is tension, any thoughts in the mind distracting you. Breathe them out and let them go. Feel into the heart space, feel into the belly. Pulling your energy inward, in towards your spine. See the energy in your body forming a column of light running up and down your spine, all the way up to the base of the neck, the bottom of the skull, all the way down to the tailbone. Feel that fill with light. Allow that light to extend above your head, all the way into the cosmos, way into the distant central sun. Feel yourself connect to the light codes of the grand central sun, source, the creator aspect of yourself. And receive everything that is available to you now, bringing that down through that column of light into your skull, illuminating your head. illuminating the space behind your eyes and letting that light bleed through your eyelids, coming out your eyes, moving down your throat into your chest, filling your chest and then your torso, swirling that energy and that light into your belly. See that beautiful white light move its way now through your arms and your limbs, swirling around the palms of your hands, pooling there, creating little balls of light that are just gently swirling and warming and cooling the palms of your hands, and then allow that to continue to spread throughout your torso, into your pelvis, activating everywhere it lands. Swirling and pooling in the lower abdomen, the pelvis, the root chakra. And then extending that beam of light down through your legs, through your feet, growing roots through the lower part of your body that now extend down into the earth, connecting with the roots of the trees, down into the rock, into the water contained within the earth, down, down, down into the central crystal core of Gaia. Connect to that crystal. Notice its shimmer, the warmth, and what feels nourishing residing in the heart of that crystal. It's like a silver crystalline light. It opens and begins to flow for you as the roots that extend down from your body into this crystal now drink up this light, this frequency. This magnificent interdimensional nourishment, sustenance. Suspend your breath and allow this liquid crystal to move up through your roots, allowing your body and your energy and etheric body to drink up this essence, this nectar from the inner earth's core, bringing it up through every stream within your veins into your head. Allow it to pool at your third eye and in the 13th chakra, or fucus below, in your lower abdomen. Allow these places to fill with this silver crystalline light, this liquid light. Hold it there. And as you do, allow your mouth to open slightly. You are tethered now from the grand central sun, between the sun and the earth crystal. This liquid light and solar plasmic light running through your entire being. And now notice in the distance a hummingbird starts to fly towards you. It's carrying in its beak a tiny golden white shimmering ball of light. It's the size of a cranberry or a small blueberry. But this golden white bead of light, it comes in front of you, waits for you to open your mouth. This shimmering crystal candy of light, it then drops it on your tongue and slowly backs up so that it can take one look at you. And with so much joy and excitement, it flutters off and flies off into the sunset. Close your mouth and allow this golden white bead of light, this candy, to dissolve in your mouth now. Notice your mouth salivates. This bead of light begins to dissolve in your mouth and make its way through your body, just gently bleeding into every cell. Spreading through your body, meeting this crystalline liquid light, the solar plasma rays that are moving through your being at every level. Allow a smile to build on your lips as you notice that this bead of light is now beaming from your heart. Remain still. See the vision of yourself in joy. Palms up, tethered from the heavens and the earth, and the seed of love and joy planted in every cell and rooted in your heart. See every cell of your body now with a mirror image of one of these golden white seeds of light. See all of them holding this vision and holding this seed of golden white light, this candy, melting within every cell within you. As you do, hold the knowing that you are embodying love and joy at a level you have yet to fully experience, but are now opening fully to. See the numbers in your mind's eye. 1, 2, 3. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, know that you are embodying this new frequency within you. Nothing to do, nothing you need to say or think, just feel. Breathe in. This is who you are. This is who you are becoming. This is who you have always been. Take another breath in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. To Gaia, who is me, an extension of me as I am an extension of her. To my soul, all the higher aspects of myself, my super conscious nature. Thank you. Thank you, thank you for always being accessible and available and there to remind me of who I am and the importance of every now moment. of now is the only place I ever need to place my focus and my attention on. And from this place, I can create anything. And all doubt and all fear, all judgment can fall away. I need not know how. I need not know why or when. I can just relax in the knowing that this is how it is. It is how it has always been. It is how it will be even more potently moving forward. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Take a breath in. And so it is. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for being here and supporting and contributing to this container. We are all in this together, my brothers and sisters. There is no going back. There is nothing to miss. There is nothing to worry about, but so much to get excited for, so much to open into becoming and being and feeling, and so much to start dreaming of. Give yourself the space today, tonight, tomorrow, to go into your own moment of stillness. Excuse yourself from the bustle of anything else going on. Plug something into your ears if it allows you to focus and just be present. If it's noisy, sink into the noise. If it's not cozy, sink into whatever's there and just be. You are not limited by your physical surroundings. You're not limited by what's going on around you. Just be you. And be still and tell your mind, thank you. You can be quiet, and all you need do is just tap into that presence within presence, no matter what is presenting. We have a glorious year ahead of us, a glorious month, and a glorious new human experience to step into. I look forward to guiding, supporting, walking with you on this journey, in whichever way this will materialize for us. I am looking so forward to presenting opportunities for us to unite and gather again and take some profound journeys together, to evolve and open into the most expanded, liberated, and powerful, creative expressions of who you are and who we are together. So have a magical night. Know that you are so supported. You are so loved. And you are destined for greatness. And your destiny is only magnificent and great. Let that sink in, let that simmer. And I'm sending you so much love, so much appreciation for who you are and all you've already done, even if you feel you have more to do. I look forward to walking with you along the way. Bye for now.